So. Ja, het is een laboratorium, dus ja, het is een chaos. Maar ik weet alles te vinden. Okay, it's a kind of a laboratory, but it's a kind of a chaos for people who don't work in laboratories. But I know to find everything. I know where everything is. So in the other room, I have I received people who come for repairs in the other rooms. So maybe we can go there first now.
Okay.
Shall I shut down the music? Let's go. I'm working at home because I've been working as a guitar repairman for about 30 years, more than 30 years now. And I don't need to go out of the house anymore. I don't need to go to companies.
You can sit here, because then you have the light.
Yeah. I don't need to go out of the house anymore, because I've met so many people in about 30 years that I've been a repairman. And what goes around comes around, so a lot of people do advertisement for me, so I don't need to advertise anywhere. And I had a multitude, enormous variety of guitars and the things that need to be repaired on guitars in those 30 years, 30 plus years. And these guitars are mine, and I play them still because in fact I'm a musician, but in Netherlands it's very difficult to make a living as a musician. So I have always done repair work since my 20s. And I'm almost 70 now, so it's a long time. But these guitars are for me, and they're my guitars, and the rest is all repair work. So this room is for people who come to discuss their problems with their guitars with me, and then we make an estimate how much the repair will cost. So I can show a couple of guitars.
Yes.
We start with a little one. This is a nice ukulele. The problem is not very difficult. The only thing is that the action, the height of the strings is a little too high. So I'll lower it down a little, and then it's nice to play. Yeah. So you can see that the action, the string is a little too high. So I'll bring it down.
Okay.
And that's a nice ukulele. You can play with an amplifier also. Nice little things. The cost of acquirement is about, I think, 200 euros, I think, for this type of quality. And then it still needs adjustment. So this one. So this is an acoustic electric guitar, nylon string. It's out of tune. And it has an amplification problem with the preamp. So I'll have to check the electronics of this guitar, and it should work with a quite high volume. because it was built that way that it can produce quite a high volume amplified, but not now. It's not working properly, so I have to check the electronics for this guitar. It's a Yamaha.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an acoustic guitar. Another kind of repair I have to do is fix this fretless acoustic bass. This fretless acoustic bass is missing the preamp. I have to put in a new kind of preamp so that it can work amplified, and then the job is done. About the cost of a repair will be about 200, 250. It depends upon the cost of the preamp I have to fit in. But these are nice instruments. Oh yeah, there was also a problem with the bridge. The bridge was cracking open because the strings, they have quite a lot of tension on this point, the strip of the bridge. They push the bridge forward, and the consequence of that is that the wood is cracking open on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So I re-glued it and made braces so that it will not break again. That was a problem. This is.
Do you play the bass?
Yeah, also. Yeah.
Also the...
Yeah. So there are a lot of varieties of repairs for electric guitars, and we have, most of the times I have to make a sort of a plan which guitar comes first. A lot of electric bass guitars, peculiar ones, bass guitars which need adjustment, like this, and a lot of other types of bass guitars, a lot of electric guitars. All these cases are for electric guitars, and all kinds of electric guitars which need minor repairs or big repairs. It's also, so all kinds of repairs I have to do for people. This is from one customer. He brought 4 guitars. A lot of times I have people who bring several guitars in one time. I also have music schools who bring their guitars from the music classes, and the amplifiers also sometimes, so that they need maintenance. So, the variety of type of guitars and type of repairs is very diverse, and a multitude of wishes and desires from all kinds of customers. So let's go to the other side now.
Yep.
And then we can do a repair. So, these are guitars I have to do within a couple of weeks. This guitar is a complete remake. This guitar needs the electronics, and the customer wanted another kind of neck on the guitar. So it's a left-sided guitar with a right-sided neck.
I see.
And this left-sided guitar, he had specific wishes about the electronics. And these electronics, they have manuals. These electronics have manuals for right-sided guitars. So the customer is a left-sided guitar, so these manuals I have to read in a bit mirror view. So, so it must be read like this, the other way around, because this is left-sided guitar, and the customer is a left-sided guitar player, but he's constructing a left-sided guitar. So the complete wiring of this pick guard, the complete wiring of the pickups and the pots, volume, tone, split tone and switch has to be read in reverse.
I see.
So this is an old type of Stratocaster, very desirable object, but Fender, the Fender company, they have done really stupid mistakes in the course of their development. In the 70s they used a kind of lacquer kind of finish which wasn't not durable. The kind of finish also deteriorated very fast, and you can see the damage on the neck and the fingerboard. And the customer wants me to refinish the neck, and I will not refinish the body because it's in the original aged state, and that is more valuable than completely stripping it and refinishing it, because in this state it's original, and that is more valuable to a lot of people who are interested in buying these guitars than when I refinish it. So you can see all the damage done, and the policy of Fender was to produce relic guitars. Relic were new guitars they made old. So they on purpose damaged guitars to sell them as relic guitars, as guitars which are damaged. But this is an original damaged guitar, so the relics are fake, but this is an original, severely damaged, heavily damaged guitar. So the finish comes off everywhere you play. So I'll strip off the old finish and clean up the neck and sand it, and then put a new lacquer on it, newer finish, and then it will last a long time. But this kind of guitar from the early 70s, the value of, it depends on the medium where you put it, eBay or anywhere. But average value of these kinds of guitars will be about 2,000–3,000 euros. And that's a low estimate. A lot of old emotional instruments with an emotional content for some customers. This original Hofner bass guitar was the instrument of a famous Dutch bass player who worked with symphonic rock bands in the 70s. But as you can see, he has gotten his way with this guitar because he was experimenting with different kind of pickups, and for experimenting with the pickups he chose, it was necessary to saw a hole in the body, in the top. So he did this, but he also, and that's something he didn't realize, he also sawed right through the braces inside the guitar. So the original guitar had braces which went along, but when he experimented with this pickup and saw out this cavity, then he cut right through the braces. Also in this place there were several designs for controls, so the volume and switches. This used to be a very small hole, but when he experimented with a lot of other things and a lot of other types of electronics, he had to saw a bigger hole. So it's very funny because he asked me, "Can you restore this guitar?" So I said, okay, I'll put on new finish. New top. I take out the whole old top and I'll put in and make a new top. Because this is not restorable, it's not repairable. That's it. So a lot of valuable instruments also from customers with emotional bond with a guitar. This is a guitar is very valuable for the guild. This guild guitar 12 string stems from the early 70s and it was a very desirable guitar, and it was made in the years that Guild produced a lot of high quality guitars specifically built for kind of folk music. These were popular among folk musicians and in the 70s, and they were also the first guitars which had an amplifier system in it, but not this one. Yeah, this one has it. It were very primitive amplifier systems, and they were built in. And Guild was one of the first who provided these folk guitars with a built-in amplification system. I have to clean it up because the owner was a heavy smoker and he smoked about a pack a day of strong tobacco. So when he brought this guitar in, I had to disinfect the whole lot. I had to use alcohol and disinfectant to clean up and to avoid being contaminated by this guitar. Right. So there's a lot of guitars which are old family guitars. This is a family guitar from a man who died. He was about, I believe, about 90. But the relatives, and in this case his granddaughter, who's also now I think 60 years, wanted this thing restored, wanted this thing made playable again and updated and cleaned and repainted again to as in memory of her grandpa. So this is also kind of a vintage restoration projects which come in regularly, and the quality of those instruments are not very good guitars, but it's nice to do because it means a lot to the people, to the owners. So I'm restoring this one. It's almost finished. I had to make a fixation for the neck because the neck in those days were just glued into the sound into the body, and the connection between the neck and the box, the body was not very strong, so they came loose after a couple of years. So we fixed that and we made a better connection. Now I've sanded the hole. This was completely open. It was cracked open, and the sides did not match each other anymore. So I had to make a repair on this back side and the top and the back side again. So this is almost done. I have to sand it now and respray it, repaint it with amber finish. So then it will be okay, and then I can do the setup. Parts of it are still here. This is the tailpiece. I still have a lot of vintage tailpieces. The wheel will go there, and the bridge will go back again. And there's also an original pickguard which will be attached. So then you get a general idea of what the guitar will look like. And now it's strong enough to be restrung again. These new strings are have a certain tension, and this tension, as the guitar was originally, the string tension pulled the top of the guitar, pulled it open. But now it cannot break anymore here. So this is an old vintage project. You can see the discoloration because here on beneath the pickguard the sun didn't shine as strong, the lights didn't shine as strong as on the rest of the guitar. So that causes the discoloration. Right. Okay, this is an old project. And there's a lot of things. The deal I make with people who have an emotional bond with an instrument is the instrument itself has little value, little quality. But when it means a lot of them to them for emotional bond with their family or relatives which have deceased or have died, then they can spare a couple of €100 to get the instrument repaired again. Now you can see that in this room there are a lot of tools and a lot of necessities for repairs. And in the course of 30 plus years, all tools and all things which are present in this room, they have their use. So you can see what a lot of instruments and what a lot of tools and what a lot of adjusted tools you need for repair. So this laboratory is quite a chaos to other people, but I know to find everything. I know where everything is. Nog iets meer. Okay. Yeah. This body is for the electric guitars. This body is under repair. It was damaged by someone who got so frustrated at trying to play guitar and that he smashed this guitar to pieces with the body completely botched, completely damaged in a lot of parts. Now it's all these damaged parts I have repaired and filled it, and now it's ready to be resprayed again. And I will use new finish to spray. And this, the funny thing is that black is a very difficult color to finish. Black is a color on which you can see anything, any scratch or any blurred parts. You will see on black. Other colors do not matter that much, but with black you can see anything. So this body is now ready to be resprayed and refinished, and then we'll put on the neck and the electronic parts again. And we'll rebuild this guitar. There are a lot of people interested in this guitar, so I'll finish it. These are loose parts. This is a Telecaster neck for Fender, and this is a Stratocaster neck for Fenders. Both are interchangeable, so you can fix your own kind of idea with guitars. This is just parts that will always can be fitted together. So this guitar will be like new again in a couple of weeks. So this is an electric guitar. These are projects from guitars which were left by the owners. The owners didn't want them anymore, so maybe one time I will repair them. This guitar I'm working at now is just simple repair. This customer has brought two guitars, one Stratocaster, and he wanted me to check the input. He said there's a trouble with the input, so I will check it. Maybe it's interesting for you. So I turn on my amplifier. It works. And check the input. And as you notice now, it has a distortion. So we're going to fix that first. Put on the soldering iron. Because I know from experience that the distortion you heard is due to the malfunctioning of the wiring. So we'll open it up. And we can see this is a mono input. Mono input only has two contact points. A contact point for the earth, the ground, and a contact point for the plus, this is the signal. And the distortion is caused by not very good contact between the jack and the input. So the contact between the input jack and the contact from the input itself doesn't work so well. So we'll take it out and we'll put in a stereo one. The stereo one has better contact. Just a minute. Heb ik nog wel even. Even kijken of de voeling is. So, first option is to clean up the original one. So I'll check if the original one makes good contact. This is the first thing I check for them. So I'm cleaning the rust from the contact now, and also I'll be cleaning the inside where the ground meets the input. And maybe that does the job. So now I'm cleaning the inside of the input. I'll sand it down a little to remove any oxidation or any rust. So, and I'll bend it some and make the tilt of the tip a little steeper so it makes better contact. Oh yeah, and then I also spray some contact. Oh, sorry. Just a minute. I'll spray some contact spray to remove any very minimal piece of debris or oxidation or rust. Then I'll clean it up again. Okay. Checking the wirings or whether they are still solid attached, and that's okay. So let's try it. No, it doesn't give any distortion anymore, so I don't need to replace the input. The input I wanted to replace it with, it was a stereo input which has one more contact than this one. This one has only 2 contacts, but the stereo input has 3, so that make better contact. But this one's okay, it's not clean. So no need to replace it. It's still, screws are still tight, so this was very easy repair, and it's normal that all parts which make contacts, which need to transmit contact, always suffer a little of oxidation or wear. So these pots, they always are subject to a little oxidation. I'll let you hear what I mean. Oh, this is fairly okay. There's not much noise going on. It's okay. Okay. Maybe I have some here. No. No. Oh, it's okay. There's no distortion on the volume. It happens quite a lot of times that when people do not turn enough with the volume knobs or any knob, they will have a little oxidation inside because of they don't turn enough. And this electronic parts, they always have a kind of resistor, and the oxidation on the resistor will cause the noise, the crackling. But now it's okay. So this is okay. The customer wanted me to adjust the guitar on a new set of strings. So I'll check the guitar for its condition in which it is now, and I see a lot of things which need to be adjusted. Because I've done it so long, I can see that the saddle are not in proper position. This one is way far to the front, it needs to go back. And this one is also too much to the front, it needs to go back. So I will check this position of these saddles. I will check it later. First I have to remove the strings and put on some new strings, maybe clean it up a little. You can see the fretboard is being played. The fretboard has a lot of finger wax on it, so I'll clean it first. And these strings are old because there's also oxidation, and you can feel with your finger that there's rough spots on the strings, little rust. So these strings are old, I'll take them out. So. String winders are very handy in removing the strings quickly. You can see that there's a tremolo system here. This tremolo system is already flat to the surface of the body. Sometimes when guitars are not well adjusted, then the position of the plate of this tremolo block will be like this. And when they are a little off the body, then there is always the problem with detuning, because when its position is like this and you put on your hand for playing, then you will press the tremolo block back, so this detunes the whole string system. So it's better to put it flat on the surface of the body. We'll first take off the strings now. It's very handy, very convenient for guitar players and repairmen to be bimodal. So you can do a lot of work with your left hand as well as your right hand. It comes out very handy. So I'll not bother to take out the strings in a decent way, a neat way. They are old anyway, so I'll cut them off so I can take it out easier of the guitar. The old strings you can throw away because they're no use anyway. So, the back of the guitar has the plate, and most of the time it's necessary to remove this plate. I'll check it. The design of Stratocasters is something that has happened by the ideas of a couple of people with musical interest, but it doesn't mean that the options which are making the guitar, with which they were making the guitar, are the best options. So there's always improvement of components, setup and build of a guitar. There's always improvement, so people who have a good idea of improving some aspects of the guitar, they can make a lot of money. So we'll take out the old strings. They really feel rusty, so we can throw them away. The customer has supplied me with a set of strings
under the neck.
Ah, yeah. So I'll put in this new set of strings. These are the Adagio and size 010 to 046, regular set. Ah, it goes also by itself. Okay. So these are the new strings he wants on the guitar. I'll put them on quickly. They go in the back. This is a metal block which makes the tremolo function. So I pull the strings through, and so to see how the tremolo is working, this is the arm which the guitar player presses down, and the block itself is attached with 3 springs. So when you press down the arm of the tremolo block will move, and this makes the vibrato effect. You can see the strings coming out here, the new strings. So when Jimi Hendrix presses down the arm of the tremolo, he makes this thing move, right? Okay, now you know. Do the new strings first. These jobs are not very difficult, and it depends, the quality of the adjustment of the guitar depends on the components, and for a very important part on the quality of the fretwork. The frets must be leveled very precisely. It takes a lot of labor to do that, and it fixes the price also, because when people, the manufacturers, put an effort to make the fretwork optimal, to make it good and playable, then they have to put in more work than when they're low budget guitars. Low budget guitars, they tend to disguise problems with low budget guitars. So if the fretwork is not neatly leveled, then this will cause problems with adjustment, and a lot of other things will have an influence in the adjustment of a guitar and the playability of a guitar, but that is always fixed on a price. Oh, this one's turned over. So, all 6 strings are put in. To see what the guitar does now, I'll just fix a couple of strings to see what it's doing. The distance, the length of the string also is very important, because these tuners have a hole inside where you have to put the string in. So this is the D string. I will cut it off at the size that it will fit both the hole in the tuner and 2 windings around it. So I know from experience that this is the distance you need, at least, from this tuner here to 2 tuners ahead. So I'll put it in, and I'll have the right distance for tuning the guitar string. Yeah. So, like this. There you go. So I'll do this with every string, the distance of 3 tuners. About. Put this in, hook it around, so it makes an angle, so it will fix itself. Keep it down to the headstock, so it will wind around the tuner properly. It will go winding down, and that's the right way. If you don't hold the string down, then you have this. Then it's possible for the string to wind upwards, and that's the wrong way, because it needs to make an angle from the tuner to the nut. The angle must be a slight slope down, because if not, it will have no pressure here. So if it's too horizontal, the string will vibrate in this slot, So it needs an angle downwards, and that's the reason why you have to wind the string down. So this angle here makes a pressure point. So now it sounds with least fret buzz, least buzz. So the A string. Also, the low strings, they need this angle. Because if they go too horizontal, they will also cause buzz in the nut. So I'll make 2-3 windings on the tuner to make sure there's a slope down. Same with the other instruments. I will check about this size for length of the string, and always a bit oversizing the length, because then there's always the certainty that the string has a good grip around the tuner. So I'll also push the string down underneath the string guide. The string guide has been developed with the same reason, to make sure that the string will make a slope downward. Like that. That's the reason why they make string guides. So it will make a pressure point here, and this pressure point will secure that the tone is ringing freely. Also, this kind of strings are always a bit tricky, the thin high E strings, because if you don't have enough windings here, it will not grip itself. So make sure that if you cut it off, you have enough length, about 4 of the tuners for the high E strings, so you make sure it will grip around the tuner when you hold it, when you wind it up. So I'll make an angle in the hole, so it will stay there. Hold it down until it grips, and then hook it underneath the string guide, and make sure you have enough windings that the string is secure on the tuner. So it won't slip now. Same as with the low E string. I need about 3 tuners distance to secure that it makes an angle, a slope here. The reason that it needs to be fixed around the tuner tightly is that it will not slip during playing, and it too often happens that players just hook the string one time around the tuner, and then while playing, when business gets heated up in playing, they will bend the string very high, and when they bend the string very high, the tension becomes too high, so that the string will pop out of the tuner. And that happens quite a lot. Also, the tuning itself to the right pitch is then not secure. It will detune a lot. So, strings are on it. I'll take my tuner. One of them got up. This is a normal G. Okay. Because I've been playing guitar for a very long time, I have relative pitch. For guitar only. Not absolute pitch, because it's only limited to guitars for me. Also, while tuning, you raise the tension of each string, and the tension, when the tension is getting stronger, then it will pull up the bridge. So you always have to check if the bridge still makes contact. When the tension of the strings will pull it forward, then you need to tighten these screws a little more. So to make sure that it will still be flat on the surface of the body, then I will tighten these screws a little more, so that the strings, so that the springs will keep it close to the body. Now, new springs are on it, and then I will check another tuner in just a moment. So, now we'll try to tune up the guitar and positioning the saddles. Positioning the saddles is important because then the guitar will stay in tune anywhere on the neck. So I have a tuner close to the amplifier, so that the tuner will listen to the right pitch. Center is the right spot. So each string must be in tune. So that the tension of the pull at the string from the strings is set. Now I will adjust every string. You can see that center hits the right spot. Now we'll check the 12th position on the guitar neck to see if it comes back to the center position. So, the 12th position. Yeah. Unfortunately, it comes right in the center. So, next string B. Now, when I play the string without fingering it, when it's open, then you can see that the B string is in center. But when I play it on the 12th string, 12th fret, it moves away from the center. So the finger of the tuner will point you the direction of which way the saddle must be moved. So I can see from experience that the saddle has been placed too much to the front, and the tuner is also showing the same. So that to get the string in tune, it must be placed backwards, this one. And we can do that. I'll slightly detune the string to lower the tension. And then I'll put the saddle in the right position. It must be about this one. And you can also see that the height of the string itself is uneven. It has to follow the radius of the fretboard. But we'll fix that later. First I'll make the adjustment for each string, and then we'll put the radius in the strings. Okay, so I put the saddle a lot back. This is center. Now it comes back to 0. Open and 12th position. So, okay, I'll speed it up a little bit now, because I know from experience that this one needs to go way back. It's too much in the front. So when you play this guitar, especially with chords, then it will be out of tune the way it was. But now it's in the hands of the repairman. It will be playable. Now I think, especially in studios, then the engineer in the studio and backup mixing table will listen to every note if this is in tune or not. And with this guitar there was a problem. So the G string I adjusted comes back to 0, and now 12th position comes back to 0. Okay, so I adjust that, and I also think that the D string is too far into the front, so I'll put it in 0, and 12th is, oh damn, the string is much too low, but we fix that later. Okay, this one is much too low. The radius of the all these strings must be a nice round flow, but this one is way down. So I'll fix that first because the sound of the string is bad. So these are Philips keys. You have the metric size, European size, and you have the inch size, American size. These are all different sizes of Allen keys. So from experience I know that this one is the right one. So maybe one. Yeah. So the purpose is to raise the string. I'll lower the pitch a little, raise the string a little, see if it's sufficient. No perfect radius, just a little higher. Yeah, that's better. So I'll adjust the G string as well, because this was also very low. I'll check in, because from the side, every skilled repairman checks from the side to see the radius, if it is a nice curve. And you compare it to the curve of the radius of the fretboard. It feels better when the strings are in a nice curve compared to the radius of the fretboard. Then it feels better for playing, and especially when you're playing with a pick plectrum, then you tend to miss some strings when they are not in a nice radius. When this string is too low, you have a risk of missing the string in playing. So when it's a nice curve, then it's easier to play. So I'll check the other strings later. It's not nice. So it's almost done. And this is easy repair for me because it's just adjusting a guitar. It's not really a repair job. But I think the player will be very happy when he plays it. There's still a couple of things which need to be done now. Okay, so we have adjusted the D string. Check it on the tuner if it comes back to 0. Just a little. There's a little deviation, but it's not very important. Okay. Low E string. Yeah, this has deviation. So I'll have to screw it back a little. That's okay. In adjusting each saddle, you have to make a little. You have to make a little relativity, because a lot of players have their own specific press of the fingers on the strings. Some press very strongly, some press very lightly. So the average way of adjusting the position of the saddle depends on the pressure of the guitar player. In stressful situations, as playing in a studio, when a player needs to perform and make a good recording, then they have a stress, and also on stage when people are trying to make a very good performance, they have more stress, and they will press the strings harder than when they're playing at home. So if you have a strong pressure on the string, it will show on the tuner. The tuner will show that if when I press the string hard, it will deviate from the 0 point. So this is an average pressure. It's okay. But when I press too hard on the string, it will deviate. It will raise above the 0. So if you have a relaxed pressure of your finger, then it will come back to 0. So this is a situation in which, in studio situations, the engineer behind the control will often say to the player, the guitar player, your guitar is out of tune. But the guitar player is only little under stress when he's pressing too hard. The guitar itself can be okay in tune, but if the situation is stressful for the guitar player, he will press harder on the strings. So then the guitar goes out of tune. So they have to learn to relax their fingers. That's it. So the guitar is almost done. The height of the pickups needs to be adjusted also, because when the pickups are too low, then they will pick up less signal from the metallic strings. So I will raise them a little to make sure he gets a lot of signal from the pickups. This pickup is too low, I will raise it up. And it's done by just turning the adjustment screws. So I'll raise it up, well, I think ½ centimeter, checking if they do not touch the strings. No, it's a lot. It's okay. So I balance out. I balance the several positions, because this switch turns the pickups separately on or off. In this position, this pickup is on. In this position, the middle position, this one. In the farthest position, this one. In between there are combinations. So if this is position 1 for this pickup, in the second position it will combine those two. You can hear that there's a difference in balance. So I'll raise this one up also, and just to give it more signal from every pickup. So in combination positions they will sound better together. Oh, it rhymes. Okay, so I raise them up. normal volume. This is one. When this pickup is on, it will have more signal from the strings, because the tension of the strings is looser. It's more loose here than it is here. There are fixation points here on each saddle, so the strings will not move as freely when you play it as in this position. And this is something you can hear when the neck pickup is switched on. Then you can hear that the sound it produces is much richer, much warmer than the sound this one will produce, because in this position the pickup will pick up less movement of the strings, because they're fixated more strongly here in this position. In this position the strings will move more freely, so this pickup will pick up more volume, more signal. And this is the reason why it sounds much richer and much warmer than in this position. This one's on. You can also always check which pickup is on by tapping it with a metal screwdriver. That one is on, this one is not on, and this one is not on. So when I switch it back, now these two are on. That functions. When I switch it in the middle position, this one's out, this one's off, and this one's on. And this one's off. When I switch it back, these two will be on. That's normal wiring. When I switch this one off, then only this one is on. This one's out and this one's out. These are just magnets which react to metal. That's the reason why you have metal strings on an electric guitar. For you to know. So this is okay. This guitar is checked with the normal topics. We cleaned up the input so it won't give any distortion anymore. We put on new strings and adjusted the saddles, and we adjusted the height of the pickups. This is a regular job, and it's sufficient the way it is now. Okay, that's enough?
Yes, thanks a lot.
You have any questions?
Yes, what was the music you have on the background?
It was a folk singer, very talented folk singer. He is not someone who wants to be famous, but he makes very beautiful tales in his songs. It's Kelly Joe Phelps, and he makes beautiful stories in his songs. He's one of the sincere folk artists. It's about 1990 that he started, and this one is from 2001.
Okay.
It's very almost like singing books, singing stories of books. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is just one minor repair. So one kind of repair. A lot of other repairs which are more elaborative. Do a lot more work, but.
Your wife also makes music?
Yes, my wife is a singer. She teaches vocal techniques, and she plays in my band, but now we are only recording in the studio. And when it's possible, then we will form the band back together, and then we will try to look for gigs.
Okay, let's meet her.
Yes, okay.
See you in the next video.
Thank you.